All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Why Wednesday, the day of the week where we get to ask a compelling question that may not even have an answer. This week for Why Wednesday, we'll be talking about why everyone seems to be giving Gen Z so much smoke. Why does everyone hate Gen Z, guys? Hit the theme song.
Presenting your host, Cuddy Five.
All right, thank you for that wonderful theme song. I love it. We're back on our timer-ish, so here we go. Why does everyone hate Gen Z? I was talking with my girlfriend today, and she brought up a video that I guess someone posted on TikTok, going like, "Whoa, Gen Z doesn't know how to work," and I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm kind of sick of this shit, right? I'm Gen Z, let's start with that. So I'm Gen Z. I've worked hard my whole life, right? I busted my ass in school, and then I busted my ass in college, and, I worked, and then I got out of college, and I kept trying to work, and it's like, what's up? I've met other people in my generation. Everyone's kind of fine. I mean, we all have problems, but what generation doesn't, right? And, I don't think that it's necessarily new to dogpile on the youngest generation, but are we five? Are we five? Is this how we want to react to everybody and everything? Does this make any goddamn sense to anybody? Because it doesn't make any sense to me, right? Especially right now, okay? Do you know who didn't screw up the economy to the point we're at? Gen Z. Do you know who didn't, fuel the fans and fires of a ecological crisis that will continue to fucking crumble down upon our heads? Not Gen Z. Do you know who was involved in establishing and setting up a pedophilic cabal that's entirely entrenched our federal government? Not Gen Z. Do you know who ruined the job market so that nobody my age can have an easy time making a living? Not Gen Z. Do you know who removed all the manufacturing from America to try to destroy the labor unions and kneecap the American Labor Party? Not Gen Z. Okay? I want everybody to know, anybody who complains about anything to do with Gen Z, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I mean that. And I mean that. Because I'm going to tell you something that you don't want to hear. I didn't do any of this shit, okay? Me and the rest of my cohort are just trying to get by in a world fucked up by the boomers, by Gen Xers, and by millennials. And you know what? Fair's fair. Gen Z's gonna fuck it up more, okay? And then Gen Alpha's gonna fuck it up more after that, and then on and on and on and on. Alright? But don't give me shit, because I'm done with it, okay? And you know what the thing is? You know what the thing that sucks about it? And really the question we should all ask ourselves, why? Why do we do this? Why do we feel the need to haze every single young generation? It's a great question. It's a fantastic question because, when I was a kid, millennials were getting dogpiled by Gen X and boomers and whoever came before, the Great Generation or something like that, right? And I was all like, oh, poor guys, they don't seem that bad. And now the video my girlfriend was talking about was from a fucking millennial. Did you not go through this? And also, fun little caveat to this whining millennial, she was working in retail. Wow! Whoa! What a fucking unit of production over here, our retail cashier fucking millennial, explaining to me why Gen Z doesn't fucking care about. Do you think that maybe your Gen Z coworker doesn't care about their job because it's fucking dumb? It's a good question, right? You ring people out. I don't know what kind of behavior this person was engaging with, but to fucking throw Gen Z under the bus is ludicrous, especially at a job that is not very high demanding and that is clearly incredibly menial, right? And this is the other thing that I want to say here, in all fairness to whoever was making this complaint. Why don't you blame the person's personality? There are Gen Z who work every day, who work in and out, who traverse the impossible, for all you fucking know. You're behind the fucking counter of a retail, shop. There are Gen Z who fucking travel the world and make life better for people and work their ass off day in and day out and day in and day out. And we're gonna, malign the entire generation because of a fucking single human being you worked with? Ridiculous. And then the other thing that was brought up was this notion of the Gen Z stare. Okay, and for any of you older generations out there, and by the way, for any of you older generations out there, I'm not mad. I'm not mad at you. Okay, and I get it. I get it to a certain extent. I think it's childish to fucking lay any of the problems on the world on your Gen Z cohort here. But I mean, I get it. And look, if you're someone who doesn't engage with this kind of rhetoric or dialogue, thank you, right? Because this is the other thing is I'm not saying everyone's mad at Gen Z, but all the boomers are bad. There are definitely some boomers who helped establish a fucking pedophile cabal, right? But you watching this, you're probably a good person. You're probably a great person. You're probably someone who hates the fucking pedophile cabal that the likes of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had a fucking clearly huge hand in creating, right? And that's the thing. I can hold Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump accountable without making every fucking boomer a pedophile. So what about having some goddamn decency for a change? And if you're gonna complain about your young Gen Z coworker, make it about that person. Okay? Because it doesn't help. It doesn't help to just fucking fan the flames of some generational culture war that's going on. That only helps to divide us. That only helps to make me mad at millennials. Okay? And that's the other thing. Anybody who's engaging in this kind of dialogue, this kind of conversation, why? Are you 5? Are you 5? Do you want people to work together? Do you want to overcome institutional barriers as one community at large? Or would you just like to continue to bitch about a cohort that's so fucking massive, actually, it's quite literally impossible to generalize, okay? Which brings me back to this Gen Z stare concept, because that was another thing that came up in our discussion, the Gen Z stare. And my girlfriend said, as far as she's aware, whenever she's asked anybody to explain what the Gen Z stare is, crickets, because no one can do it. But let me tell you, I have actually used the Gen Z stare before, and the only time Gen Z gives you that stare is when you've objectively said something so fucking idiotic that I don't even have words anymore. And you know what? That's because I don't need words to express how stupid some questions are. And that's the thing, right? And we're going to take it back to this millennial. I don't blame every fucking millennial for this millennial's opinions. And I think anybody from any generation who's actively participating in dialogue that wholesale generalizes an entire huge swath of people is essentially, that's one of the dumbest positions you can contend with. That's one of the dumbest positions you can come up with. That's one of the dumbest positions you can support. You can do it, but yeah, It's sickening. It's despicable. It's pointless. You know what it is? Yeah, it's just pointless. It's just pointless, it's stupid, and it's one of these things, right? It's like people who engage in this kind of dialogue are doing it to fucking try to get some camaraderie with the millennials to antagonize Gen Z, and then what ends up happening is, Gen Z sees this and, all these other people are trying to treat me like shit, and this does nothing except pointless, stupid, divisional fucking commentary that goes nowhere and makes it so much harder for people to get along. So thank you for listening to Why Wednesday. I think we answered this one, everyone. So like and subscribe. 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 Like and subscribe and maybe comment. All right, thanks guys. Thanks. It's been a good Wednesday. I'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow for Two True Thursday. We're gonna talk about how I'm coming of age in the American century of humiliation. Woo! See you later, guys.